Welcome back. Now, the Lifeline Childline Namibia is a non-profit organization working to support mental health through 24/7 free telephonic, SMS, as well as face-to-face counseling services, amongst other programs. We'll be launching a social media challenge called My Mind, #MyMindMatters. Now, the challenge will kick off official 45 days countdown to their 45th birthday, which will be celebrated on the 26th of September 2025. Now, this challenge is all about spreading awareness and making mental wellness part of everyday conversations. Together, they can create a stronger, more compassionate space for mental health. Joining us this morning to shed more light is radio coordinator of the Lifeline Childline, Elizabeth Hamurenge, as well as the director of Lifeline Childline Namibia, Nicolette Bessinger. Ladies, good morning and thank you so much for making time to speak to us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perhaps, Madam Nicolette Bessinger, let's talk about, what does the Namibia Lifeline Childline, what is it all about?
Lifeline Childline is in existence for 45 years, and our core business is around counseling, and we provide telephonic counseling through our helplines. Now, very often the community perceives us as only working with children. We also work with adults. So it's Lifeline Childline. We have the 106. It's international, but it's also accessible in country, the 106 line, and the 116 line, and the 106 GBV line allows us to work with adults also. So that I just want to make sure that people understand that we're just not a children's organization, but we also work with adults and we support them in different ways. So we have a lot of different activities that we also provide in the organization. But yeah, our focus today is on the mental health challenge.
Thank you so much. Elizabeth, let's talk about the fact that today is a day that the Lifeline Childline will be launching #MyMindMatters Challenge. Talk to us about the preparations that went through this process in terms of this initiative and how we got here today.
Well, while we were planning for our 45th birthday celebration, we thought that we should come up with a social media campaign that engages everyone. It's also a challenge that is both a celebration and a call of action, because the campaign aims to break the silence and stigma around mental health in the country. We want people to speak about mental health more openly, make it an open conversation. It's about us also reflecting our ongoing commitment to promoting mental health well-being by building safer, healthier and more resilient individuals, families and communities. So this challenge kicks off our 45-day countdown to our 45th birthday, which is going to be on the 26th of September. And it's under the theme Voices Heard, Lives Changed, and 45 Years of Hope. It honors our legacy of providing quality counseling and psychosocial support, which also while encouraging people to take proactive steps in caring for their mental well-being.
Indeed. Now, Madam Nicolette, let's talk about, that the fact that when you're breaking stigmas around mental health, it involves issues such as, actively challenging negative perceptions. We also, with regards to stereotypes associated with mental health, illness. In what ways can this be achieved? Is this something that we can achieve, or is it something that we have to continuously work on?
We can achieve it. There's a lot more work that we need to do. We recognize a lot of work that's been done, not only by Lifeline, but other stakeholders and partners that we are also working with. And that is to promote a deeper understanding of the issue that we are dealing with. And over the past years, a lot of conversations have increased around mental health. And it's happening more on our schools, our community, and social media. We can make a big difference by providing more education at a much earlier age, working with children, talking to children, supporting children to understand their emotions and their well-being also. It is also training our families, our health workers, our traditional leaders, and respond to the with compassion and support. Inclusive also we have campaigns in our local languages that we need to increase, work with trusted platforms. So there's a lot more work that can be done, and it is possible that we'll be able to achieve it, but it calls for collective partnership and with consistent messaging throughout.
Collective responsibility, indeed. Elizabeth, I mean, do you believe that enough is being done to sensitize the nation on this, breaking this stigma around mental health, especially when it comes to empathy and also understanding the pertinent issues around mental illness within Namibia?
In my opinion, while there has been progress being made, there is still a long way to go when it comes to sensitizing the nation about mental health, particularly in promoting empathy and deeper understanding of the issue. I mean, over the past few years, we've seen conversations about mental health happening in schools, communities, and even on social media. So organizations like Lifeline Childline Namibia and our partners, we've been working really hard to raise awareness and provide people with platforms where they can seek help. However, the impact is still limited. People are still held back by cultural beliefs. The lack of consistent mental health education is also a problem. Many people still view mental illness as a personal weakness or a spiritual issue or something to be ashamed of. And this just makes it more difficult for people that are dealing with mental health problems to speak up or seek support. So empathy is often missing because there's not enough understanding when it comes to what mental health challenges really look like in everyday life. So to truly make a difference, more needs to be done at national and community levels. So this includes more education from an early age, so children can grow up knowing how to talk about their emotions and mental well-being, training for teachers, healthcare workers, traditional leaders to respond with compassion when people come to them with mental health problems, and to support them is very important. And inclusive campaigns. We need to localize campaigns into local languages and using trusted media platforms that reflect the realities of our diverse communities. Breaking the stigma is not a one-time event. It requires consistent, collaborative, and culturally sensitive efforts. It takes all of us to break the stigma.
Okay. Now, Madam Nicolette, for those that might be watching right now, maybe share with us, especially point us on how we can promote acceptance and support those who are struggling with mental health issues in the long run.
Yes, it requires ongoing effort, excuse me, in several practical ways that this can be done. First, we need to normalize the conversations about mental health in our daily lives, at our homes, our schools, our workplaces, and even in our churches. The more we talk about mental health, the more we break the silence and the shame that is surrounding it. Also, education is very key. When people understand what mental health conditions really are and that they are common and is treatable, it becomes easier to offer support instead of judgment, which very often happens. We must continue to raise awareness in our communities using local languages and our different cultural examples that we need to apply. We also need to be mindful of the use of the languages that we are using. We should avoid using terms like "you are crazy," "you are weak," and by rather using more words that are more respectful. Person-first languages helps change how society views mental health also. Another important step is to create safe spaces, places where people feel accepted, listened to and supported, when they can share what they are going through, sharing their emotions with others. This could be either in schools, in the youth groups, clinics, or in communities where we find ourselves. Also, long-term support means making mental health services more accessible to all, to everyone in the community. And finally, we must involve people with lived experiences. Their stories and voices are very powerful tools in fighting stigma and building the understanding around mental health. So at the end, promoting acceptance starts with compassion, empathy, and consistent action, because mental health is equally important as physical health, and everyone deserves to be supported.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time. Finally, for the viewers, how can they partake and engage in this hashtag My Mind Matters Challenge, and why should they participate? Where should they go to?
Okay, well, it's very simple to take part of the challenge. It just takes 4 easy steps. The first step is you have to share a short video or a photo or a written post on social media where you just showcase what you do to take care of your mental health. So it can be anything from journaling, taking a walk, going for a run, but just record yourself and then you post it under the hashtag My Mind Matters. You tag Lifeline Childline either on Instagram, Facebook, or X, which was formerly Twitter. And then we also ask that you nominate 2 or more friends to also do the challenge, just to keep the conversation going. That is basically how you can take part in the challenge.
Okay, so these instructions are available on your social media
They are
platform.
available on our social media. Just search for us either on Instagram, Facebook, or X. We will have a poster up with all this information on how you can take part and how you can be part of the conversation.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for making time to speak to us this morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, that was Elizabeth Hamurenge, who is the radio coordinator at the Lifeline Childline Namibia, as well as Nicolette Bessinger, who is the director at Lifeline Childline Namibia, talking to us about the fact that they are launching today, that is the challenge that will kick off of the official 45 days countdown to their 45th birthday, which will be celebrated on the 26th of September 2025. They go to their social media platforms, be it on X, that is being on, for instance, Instagram, as well as Facebook, and hear how you can be able to participate. Remember the hashtag Mind Matters Challenge, and see how you can be able to participate and ensure that we talk about this stigma, especially when it comes to mental health. We have seen a lot of men committing suicide. Let's see how we can be able to help and ensure that we create an inclusive environment where people get to freely speak about mental health issues, because one life lost is too many in a population of 3.1 million in Namibia. Now stay tuned. That brings you the news at 7.